A news story titled "Village of the Dead" was published on the front page of the Canadian newspaper, the Canadian Daily Journal, on November 26, 1930. A wave of fear was sent across all of Canada by this news, because an entire tribe in northern Canada had vanished overnight without a trace. Dear viewers, welcome back to Amir TV Videos. North Canada's remote area, Lake Anjikuni, is where we look again today. A small settlement of an Inuit tribe lived on its shores. About 100 to 150 people lived there, making their living by catching fish from this lake. This is a remote area of northern Canada, where only a few thousand people live across an area of thousands, nay, millions of square kilometers, and the reason for this is the extremely harsh weather. Hunting for other animals in the surrounding area also takes place besides the fish in Lake Anjikuni, and for this, many hunters keep coming here. A hunter named Joe LaBelle came to this area for hunting on a cold day in November 1930. He didn't realize when it got dark, he became so engrossed in hunting. An idea was in his mind that, like before, he would go to the Inuit tribe's settlement on the shore of Lake Anjikuni and spend the night. For welcoming people from outside, the people of this tribe were quite famous. Therefore, Joe LaBelle started walking towards the Inuit settlement after packing his belongings. An absolute silence prevailed far and wide, even though it was a moonlit night. Not a single person was visible, nor could any sound be heard. The sound of his own footsteps was all he could hear. Although he had done this before, today something felt different. Normally, the sounds of huskies, Eskimo dogs, which the villagers kept, would start to be heard. But today, even upon reaching close to the settlement, only desolation and silence were there. Sensing all this, Joe increased his pace. He thought that maybe the villagers were sleeping or had gone somewhere. From a distance, he could now see the huts of the settlement, from which smoke was also seen rising. But even upon getting closer, he didn't hear anyone's voice. Joe LaBelle was astonished when he finally entered the settlement, to see that there was no person or animal there. But smoke was seen rising from the tops of some huts, which was surprising for Joe, as if someone was present inside. He randomly went into one tent, but no one was there either, and the condition of all the tents was the same. Perhaps Joe might have ignored this entire scene and left, but one thing troubled him even more. Cooking pots were on the stoves in some houses, but the food in them was burnt. Meaning, someone had kept food to cook for the night, but they couldn't eat it. The clothes that the village women were sewing were even present there, and the needle still had thread in it. It seemed as if the villagers had left here suddenly. But where did they go? The entire settlement was started to be searched by Joe LaBelle. He saw that the dogs kept by the tribe's people were tied with ropes, but the dogs had died of hunger. Although food was present in front of the dogs, no human was there to feed them. A dug grave was seen by him in one place. It seemed that not much time had passed since it was dug, looking at this grave. Joe LaBelle's worry and fear had increased tremendously after seeing all this. He had become quite nervous seeing this entire scene alone at night. When people from here go anywhere, they always take their dogs with them. But seeing all this, it seemed that perhaps something strange had happened here. Some mishap occurred that forced the people to leave suddenly. So forced that they even left their dogs behind and couldn't extinguish the clothes, food, or the burning fire. Joe couldn't bear to see all this for long and reached the nearest telegraph office as quickly as possible. What he had witnessed was reported by him to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police camps from there. What Joe LaBelle had said proved true when the police reached the village. That perhaps someone had attacked here and killed all the people of the settlement was suspected by the police. But if that had happened, bloodstains would have been somewhere in the settlement. If no blood was found, then at least some belongings would have been scattered due to the fight. A search operation was immediately launched by the police to find the villagers. A very peculiar thing was found during this search operation, which perhaps even Joe had not noticed. The entire settlement was covered in snow, but there were no footprints of anyone on that snow. There were footprints of only one person, and those were Joe LaBelle's own. Meaning, if no one else had come to or left this settlement besides Joe, then where did the villagers go? The lake was also frozen over, and the villagers' boats were parked on land because fishing doesn't happen in this season. For this reason, the boats were pulled onto land and parked. If the villagers had swum away somewhere in the lake, or if someone had killed them and thrown them in the lake, then the ice layer on the lake would have been broken or scattered somewhere. That these people had disappeared about 2 days before Joe's arrival was also found out by the police during the investigation. Because dogs don't die from being hungry for just 1 or 2 days in the smoke coming from the houses was a sign that not much time had passed since they left, because this smoke continues to emanate for a long time, even after the wood has burnt out. Many questions were had by the police, but not a single answer. The case was finally closed by the police after several months of search operations, stamping it as unsolved forever. And with time, people also forgot about it. An article was written by writers Roger Bohr and Nigel Blunder 50 years after this incident, in 1984, and they tried to link this entire matter to aliens. When they went to explore the area near Lake Anjukuni, they mentioned in their article that they met a hunter and his 2 sons there. They were told by them that they often saw some objects flying over the lake, whose shapes were different, and they were flying towards the same settlement where the Inuit tribe lived. Basing the story on this, it was suggested that perhaps aliens landed that night and took all the people present in the settlement with them. No solid evidence of the presence of aliens or their attack was had by the 2 writers, so this theory was not believed by most people and was rejected. After this, different stories about the disappearance of the Inuit tribe were started to be created by many people. But the truth is that it's been almost 100 years since this incident, yet to this day, an answer to the question of where the people of the Lake Anjukuni settlement went without a trace is not had by anyone. A mystery to this day remains the case of the disappearance of the Inuit tribe. I hope you will also give lots of likes and shares to this video of Amir TV and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video. Until then, take great care of yourself and your family.